All right, here's part 1A of the paper towel dispenser lab. Again, our hope is for you to run through the lab and have it built and error-free. Our goal here is to have you build the paper towel dispensing robot, to get the correct motor speed and wait time figured out for the operations, and to have it run consistently. So if you were to run this paper towel lab 10 times in a row, it'd have the same results all 10 times. So be consistent. So to build this, I'm going to scroll down to page number 2 and look at what we need here. So again, I'll have a photo to look at for this building of the lab, but read through the directions. But our goal here is to have you build a paper towel dispenser like the ones you see hanging on the walls in the bathrooms. Kind of how they work is you wave your hand in front of a sensor, it detects your hand, dispenses paper towels out, you take them off the machine, dry your hands, and you walk away. So we're going to kind of mimic one of those machines. So the hand motion activates the gears to turn and dispense paper. So part 1A is to have you build the first chunk of the code. I got a picture of the code right here. And it kind of runs like a manual feed in which you press a button, paper towel dispenses, you let it go, it stops. You press a button, dispense, let it go, it stops. Kind of like how the water fountains work in school. If you fill a bottle or take a drink, you press the button, water dispenses, you let it go, it stops. Same kind of code as that. So let's give it a try here. What we need now is we want to have a program written that'll run over and over and over again. Because it's kind of awkward to have, say, an attendant in the restroom run the machine for you. That's just awkward. So you want to have the machine run itself. To do that, we got to add in this code that makes it loop. So it runs it again and again and again. And what the code is, it's just this little word called while. The code word while is telling the computer, hey, just as long as this number 1 is equal to that number 1, run this program. Once this is no longer true, the program ends. But according to people in math, 1 is always equal to 1. Program will run forever, until the battery dies. It says that code word while is not a drag and drop code. It must be typed in manually, all lowercase. So here's my task main, my left bracket. I'm going to line 4 and type in the word while. To go parenthesis 1 equals 1. So it's written that way, but it's kind of read as long as this value is equal to that value. All right, hit enter. It needs its own brackets. The brackets begin the program and end the program. I need to begin a chunk of my loop. That comes next. So here we have the task main, left brace or bracket, a while command. Now what do I want to have happen? I want to have when the button is pressed and held, water dispenses. In this case, the motor's turn. So it's going to be a natural language code. It's going to be an until. So I want to have bump, touch. So we learned last lab is when a button is held in and pressed, it's the until touch command, and the button is held in. So I want to have, hey, until that button is pressed in, I want to have this motor start, and then when my button is released, until release, I'm going to stop that motor. So again, I press the button, hold it in, the motor turns on, let the button go, motor turns off. Like the water machine in school, you press the button, water comes out, you let it go, it stops. It's the exact same code they have. This is just kind of a smaller format is all. And then here's my left bracket, which tells me here's my command. Run this until this. All right. I'm going to make some tabs I'm just going to jump a tab over to make it look a little bit more separated. So you guys see what's going on easier. Jump over, jump over, jump over. Okay. I can get a little bit more compacted. There it is. I got to get a cast an actor for these roles. The Until Touch, you learned from last lab, that is a digital device. And I'm just going to call mine the Go for the Go button. And it's going to be a touch device. I have a motor. Mine's in port number 2 because I have a 3-pin motor. I'm just going to call my motor Steve. And it is a VEX 393 motor. Apply those, and now let's finish coding it. So I'm going to have Until Touch. This is my button. So Until Touch, my button's called Go. Motor, my motor is called Steve. And I'll run it just at a speed of 55. Doesn't matter what you pick, as long as the wheels turn. And then when I let the button go, the button's called Go, it's going to stop the motor, which is my motor is called Steve. So now in theory, if I downstep my robot and I hold the button in, motors turn, let it go, it stops. When the motors stop, it hits the repeat command to jump back up and wait. Hold the button in, it runs, let it go, it stops, and then it'll repeat over and over and over. There's part 1A of this lab.